Guys, today we've got Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1s are back, a huge update for the Jordan 1 Off-White Canary Yellow, and probably one of the most insane Yeezy drops of 2024. Welcome to Sneaky Sunday. Let's hop into a little release recap starting with Drake's Banana. Don't know what the hell you were thinking, but I'm talking about the Nocta Nike Hot Step 2 Opti Yellow. And when I say Drake's Banana, I'm literally talking about this man was doing a whole drop revolving around freaking banana. So apparently to get your hands on this Hot Step 2 that dropped on the 16th, so 2 days ago, you had to buy a 35-cent banana at a market store in Miami in order to get the Drake shoe. It's actually pretty hilarious and, in my opinion, a really cool way to drop a pair of shoes. I'm sure there's going to be a Nike release further down the line, but of course, if we get any updates, I'll let you know. The Jordan 11 Low Diffuse Blue dropped yesterday. Let me know if you picked a pair up. And my giveaway for this pair of slides also just dropped, designed by Yeezy designer Chris DeRoy. It's in my review video on them, so if you do want to enter for a chance to win a pair, Zellerfeld and I are giving away 5 pairs of these things, so your chances are pretty decent. Just yeah, check that video out if you want to see the rules. Hopefully you win. But let's get into this upcoming stuff. We're going to kick it off with a release that is currently underway, the Maniere Jordan 3s. This is pretty interesting because they unveiled a lot more, but first let me just tell you all of the details because this pair of Jordan 3s is up for raffle right now. So if you head to Maniere's website, this is a global launch where anybody can enter. You do have to pay some hefty shipping if you're not in the US, but there's 2 days left on this, so I believe the 21st is when it runs out, or the 20th. Now, I'm sure after it drops on Maniere, after you enter the raffle and everything, there should be another release through the Nike sneakers app and potentially some other retailers later on this month or potentially September time. But as of right now, this is probably one of your best shots at grabbing this sneaker. Now, another really cool thing is Maniere actually announced an entire collection, which we didn't really know about, at least not all of it. Now, again, some of them we knew about because we've been looking at the leaks and rumors. So, of course, we have the Jordan 3s, which are dropping now. The Jordan 4s, which are my personal favorites, really want to get my hands on those. Those are dropping next month in September. We've got a pair of Air Jordan 39s, the brand new Jordan flagship model. That is, I'm not entirely sure when it's dropping, but at some point this year. They got the Air Max 95, which we have seen some leaks of. That's also going to be dropping this year. An Air Force One, which I don't think we actually ever saw. And then finally, a pair of Converse shoes. A massive collection of 6 different sneakers is pretty unprecedented. It's not often that you get a collaboration like this with Nike and Jordan brands. So yeah, if any of these shoes kind of catch your eye, just know that a lot of them are coming. All right, it's time to punch some of you in the gut. This one is pretty annoying. So last week or the week before, we spoke about the Jordan 1 Off-White Canary Yellow, one of the most insane Jordan Off-White samples that never ended up releasing. Those were going to drop in 2025. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but apparently that's not happening. So pretty much as soon as the rumors started that this pair was going to drop, I mean, it was very believable because one, we know that some Off-Whites are going to be dropping somewhat soon, and two, 2025 is so crazy for Jordan releases and Nike releases. This is kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be dropping undefeated 4s and freaking another Union collaboration, why not these? So it kind of made sense, but yeah, the rumors are apparently shut down. So what they're saying is that this pair of shoes is not going to release, but there's a high likelihood that other Off-White Jordans or Nikes could drop sometime next year or in 2026 for the 10th year anniversary. Just don't expect the Canary Yellows, which is unfortunate. And again, I mean, maybe things could change, but as of right now, just don't expect this sneaker. If we get any more updates on Off-White, Jordan brand, Nike, and what collaborations are going to be happening, I will let you guys know. We just got official images of the Nike Kobe 9 Halo collection. So the 2 pairs, we've been speaking about this for a while, so I'm just going to run through the new release date. Official images, the highs, this elite pair, these are going to be dropping on August the 24th, so right around the corner. Of course, that is Mamba Day. But the lows, which were thought to drop at the same time, are now going to be dropping at some point mid-September. So you can expect the lows, which I assume are a little bit more popular just because they're a lot more wearable. The elites are pretty dope. It's a pair of shoes that I always loved, but yeah, it's definitely a more of like a performance basketball shoe. Those are your release dates if you like either of these shoes. August the 24th for the elites, mid-September for the lows. Sticking with basketball shoes, we just got a brand new colorway of the Adidas AE1. This is the Bulldogs colorway, or the bread. These are going to be dropping September the 7th. This is literally just a black and a red pair, so yeah, they're calling this one the bread. Clean, not bad. In my opinion, I'm just so much more interested in the lows. That just kind of fits me a little bit better because I feel like those are nicer in terms of the looks for lifestyle wear. I'm not a basketball player, Claire. But yeah, if you're into this pair, it's not a bad colorway. I had to throw this one in for my Batman lovers. There's going to be a Crocs Batmobile coming soon. It takes a lot of inspiration from the freaking Batmobile. In fact, you've even got these crazy wings on the side, which is, yeah, it's pretty well done in terms of like if you had to imagine a Batmobile Crocs collab. You got like this visor on the front to, I guess, look like the windows on a Batmobile. You got the freaking wheels on the side. These are the official images, so the release date is very, very soon. We're not entirely sure, but it's definitely dropping in 2024, so keep your eyes open. And if I get an update, do you want me to let you know? Just got official images and a new release date for the upcoming G-Dragon Peace -1 Nike Air Force 1 Paranoise 3.0. It's dropping in September. So to be exact, September the 14th, so not that far away. They're going to be doing a third version of this freaking pair of Air Force 1s, a collaboration that I always really liked because it's just such an artistic approach to this sneaker. It really feels like a solid collaboration. What we do know now is that this is just one pair. This is not two pairs, four pairs like it was kind of seeming. There is just multiple different colors of the Nike swoosh on both the right and the left. So yeah, this is the best image that we've seen so far, where you can see the back and you can see the left pair has like the purple and then the blue, and then the right pair has the yellow and turquoise. Other than that, it is going to just kind of take on the classic Air Force 1 G-Dragon collab, where it's going to have that wear away material that shows like some crazy artwork underneath, which is really cool. And yes, they are going to retail for $200, which is pricey for an Air Force 1, but it's a nice collab. Little update on another highly anticipated release, the Yuto Horigome Nike SB Dunk Low. This is the second colorway, the asparagus pair, and I don't know if people necessarily think these are better than the first ones. In my opinion, first one's definitely better, but this is a cool little nice second colorway to complete a pack. So I know that we've been taking a look at like some different samples of what this pair of shoes is going to look like, but this is literally what's going to be dropping springtime 2025. It looks like they're changing up the materials just a little bit. Like, I don't think the other ones had this kind of suede as the base material, but the overlays and everything kind of look a little bit similar, where it's going to be that softer suede. Got a leather Nike swoosh. Colors are not bad. This is not a bad one, but yeah, in my opinion, first one's definitely trumped these. All right, let's get into some of this Travis Scott news, because we've got quite a lot of updates. So the first one I want to talk about is probably what's going to end up being one of the most hyped sneakers to drop in 2024, and that is the Jordan 1 Low Olive alternative, or medium olive, or whatever the hell they're calling these. Basically, yeah, it's literally like a reverse olive colorway, essentially. So I think the rumors were that these were dropping next year, but they've been kind of pushed forward. They've been pulled forward. So these are now dropping September 2024, next month. Now, look, I know that Travis Scott has been doing his thing with, you know, his two new signature sneakers with Jordan Brand and the Jumpman Jacks, and then with Nike with the Zoom Field Jacks. But I think these are just still going to absolutely dominate. Like, this is clearly what people want, and it just seems like it's taking a while for the whole Jumpman Jack and the other one to kind of take off. It's like a clean colorway. It's definitely going to overshadow the Elkins one as well. It's simple. It's exactly what people want from a Travis Scott Jordan collaboration. People just cannot get enough of these things. I mean, look at that. It looks like it's going to have that quality of a Jordan 1 that we know Travis Scott has done in the past. You can see some on-foot shots, and note that you do get an extra pair of pink laces, which is definitely kind of a Travis Scott signature, or at least he's done that with multiple other versions of the Jordan 1. We're not entirely sure the exact date in September. Just know these are dropping next month, and I would love to know, what do you think about these down in the comment section? Are you going to be going for them? Which I assume I know the answer to that. Another Travis Scott Jordan 1 that's going to be dropping this year, later on in December, the Velvet Brown colorway, which, yeah, I mean, I've said in the past, really not my favorite pair, but we do have new images, so maybe it's going to change some people's minds, and we also have a release date. So these are going to be dropping right before Christmas, the 21st of December, and I really want to know from you guys, like, what do you think about this colorway? Because to me, it just seems like a little bit of like a tough shoe to kind of style, because brown is not really the best colorway, like solid brown on a pair of shoes. This, to me, without the contrast like they've done with, like, you know, the mocha colorways and stuff like that, without the contrast of other colors, it just seems like the monochromatic brown is going to be a little bit of a tough one. Now, the materials look great, like all over suede, which is pretty dope, but I don't think these are going to be as popular and as wearable. I would love to know what you guys think of these down in the comment section. You have the release date. Where do these stack up in terms of your Travis Travis Scott Jordan lineup. Are these like one of your favorites, or are they rock bottom? Another Travis Scott releasing this holiday season is the Zoom Field Jacks. This is a Nike model I literally just dropped a review on. This is the next colorway, which granted is a lot better than the first one, the all over sale pair. I just kind of thought that it was a little bit boring and a little bit of like a, you know, a strange shoe. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad, but it's just a little bit left field in my opinion. Now this chocolate colorway, I will say they've done it very, very well. Like the mix of like the sale colors, almost like this freaking coffee color on the top, and then the darker, you know, brown for the midsole and the Nike swoosh is really nice. This is probably one of my favorite colorways that I've seen on this sneaker model. It's also surprisingly comfortable with like a pretty soft midsole. It's inspired heavily by the Zoom Spiridon model, so it takes a lot of inspiration specifically in the midsole. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think about this shoe. This is probably going to be the first time that people actually have a chance of trying this sneaker out, even though I still assume it's going to be incredibly limited. Let me know what you think about the Zoom Field Jacks, and if you want to check out this shoe in a little bit more detail, just check out my last video. I review the whole thing. And finally, the biggest piece of Travis Scott news, the freaking Fragments are coming back. So they are doing another Travis Scott Fragment Air Jordan 1 Low. So this colorway right here is what they're expecting to drop in 2025. Now this is pretty crazy because it's just very, very rare that we see a collaboration like this come back. I mean, you guys know how insane the first ones were, the, you know, the lows and the highs. They resell for thousands. I think they're like some of the most expensive Travis Scott shoes that you can buy, and these are probably going to be right up there. They're definitely not as interesting as the first ones. Like it's literally just a white shoe with some sail accents and then a blue Nike swoosh, but that's definitely not going to stop anybody from trying to grab these. Now this is a post by Hypebeast where they showcase this shoe a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure if this is a custom. I assume this is a custom and not the actual shoe that's going to drop, but I know that the founder of Fragment has been wearing this pair of shoes. You can see him pictured over here wearing it, so it's pretty much this is what's going to drop, like tumbled leather. Again, this could be a sample, so it could be a slight change. Pretty much a white pair of Jordan 1s, sail accents, reverse swoosh, and a lot of blue hits. 2025 still on track to be probably one of the craziest years I've ever seen in terms of sneaker releases. Like it's so stacked, I just can't remember a better year. But yeah, this is a full 2025 release, so I'm sure we'll get plenty of updates in the meantime, so let's keep it moving. Right, we got a little bit of an update for the upcoming Wizard of Oz Nike SB Dunk Low. So we've got a couple new pictures, but we also have a video from Private Selection showcasing what the material is like underneath. So they did a little investigation. They took an X-Acto blade and they cut this thing open. Any guesses what this is going to be underneath? I mean, this is a Wizard of Oz pair of shoes. Like, it's going to be pretty wild under there, right? Well, you tear away this material and what you have underneath is just solid red. That is it. Yeah, nothing that exciting. Now, I don't know if they cut off any other panels, but I think the entire shoe is literally just red underneath. I think if you buy these things, you probably just want to keep it the same because, I mean, unless you just prefer the red look instead of the chaos that's going on the upper. Nevertheless, these things are going to be dropping holiday 2024, so right around the corner, no exact release date, but let me know what you think about them down in the comments. Another fall 2024 release is the Nike Dunk Low University of Oregon What the Ducks of a Feather. We spoke about these last week. We had some images, we got some better ones now, and we also know that they're going to be dropping this year. We didn't entirely know. They're pretty chaotic. There's two pairs, two different, you know, crazy versions. Obviously, this is a what the, so they're combining a bunch of different stuff into one sneaker. They do differ left to right, but it's not, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Like, these things look pretty cool. I'm just not the biggest fan of mismatched shoes. Nevertheless, this is definitely going to be a big release, fall 2024, no exact release date, but as soon as we get that, I will let you guys know. Another holiday 2024 drop, which honestly I completely forgot about, but Cortez and Nike are teaming up once again on the Air Trainer Huarache. Now, we don't really have that much of an update, just the fact that we know what colorways are going to be dropping, and we also know when they're going to be dropping, holiday 2024. We also know they're going to retail for $210, and these three colorways are pretty much the ones that are going to be releasing. So a white, a gray, and a black, all with some camo accents. Judging on how insane the first collaboration did on the 95s, like, I'm sure the release of these is going to be pretty big, but nothing like the first ones, just because this is somewhat of a lesser known model. Couple Salehe, Bembury, and Crocs updates. So this is a pair of shoes that we spoke about. We had no information on it. Well, now we know that these are actually going to be dropping in 2024. This is the crazy Crocs Pollux boot thing that's dropping. It's essentially a combination of really weird materials, like the fact that it is the same kind of Crocs foam for the bulk of the shoe, but then on the upper it's just a canvas thing, kind of like, you know, a pair of Converses. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying out like maybe a different colorway. This one to me is just a little bit too crazy, you know, the crazy, like, it looks like a watermelon type shoe. But a pair that I'm definitely a lot more interested is the upcoming Tahini Juniper sneaker. So this is the model that dropped earlier a couple months ago, and it was insanely limited. Like, nobody could get their hands on it, including myself. So fingers crossed this colorway is just a little bit more available. It's also a much more wearable colorway. It's a little bit more digestible to people who are not super into loud options like the guavas. We do have a release date for these, September the 5th. That's going to be dropping through beasponge.com, which is Salehe Bembury's website, and then of course through crocs.com as well. This is all for $140 if you can get them for retail, which is a big if. Final story, let's talk about Yeezy. We have a pretty massive update. One of the biggest drops of the entire year happened just a couple days ago. So as we know, the US has had multiple different restocks and huge drops through the Adidas app. However, the rest of the world hasn't been seeing the same shoes load up. So especially here in the UK, we were kind of wondering, is there going to be any more Yeezys? Well, the answer is yes, but mainly through retailers. Now, the crazy thing about this one is the first place that dropped was Sports Direct, which, if you guys are not from the UK, Sports Direct is kind of like a place that you would go for like insanely cheap shoes. I'm not entirely sure what the US equivalent would be. Basically, a lot of like older stuff that's like super cheap. You would go there to get like affordable stuff. Now, Yeezy's dropping here has never happened before. Basically, everything that they loaded up was juniors. So these are all like kids sizes, or at least just sizes that only go up like a US like 6. Now, they had a ton of shoes drop, like a ton of crazy colorways that we haven't even seen yet. So this was pretty unprecedented. They've got the zebras, they've still got, you know, some sizes in there, but that's juniors. But what about the adult sizing? Well, Sports Direct is owned by a parent company, Fraser Group, which also owns Flannels, a big UK retailer, which dropped an insane amount. There was something like 200 and something pairs of Yeezys that loaded up. 229 products, some of them are sold out, but this is one of the craziest Yeezy drops yet because they had everything. Like, some of the pairs that I bought, I hadn't even seen release in the UK this entire year. The orange MNVNs, the super limited ones that I think dropped like exclusively in the US originally. The taupe blue desert boots, the foam runner sand colorway, I bought a pair of those. The Inertia 700s, I also bought those. And I even bought a pair of Zebra 350s. So yes, they had pirate blacks, they've got like synth reflectives, they got a bunch of foam runners, desert boots, Oreo 350s, Fade Azure 700s, and like there is still sizes. You could see like this one's still fully in stock. They just got 4 pages of just never-ending Yeezys. You've got 500 highs. Yeah, the Yeezy boots, still a couple sizes left. So you may be looking at all of this and thinking to yourself like, what the hell are these prices? And yes, the prices on here are wild, so it only makes sense to buy stuff that, you know, kind of is like better in value. So like, for example, don't go buying a pair of, you know, 380s that are sat on Adidas's website for 50% off, and don't buy it here. Some of the stuff that like I know I can't get these taupe blue desert boots anywhere else, so buying them here is the best price that I'm going to get. A lot of these shoes that are listed here you can find for under retail price on resale sites like StockX or GOAT. But for some of these shoes that I picked up, like I would not be able to get them unless I paid a lot more than what this site is offering. Also, you do get a little bit of a discount if you sign up to their Fraser's Price Plus thing, but it's something that I did, signed up, and you get like, you know, 40 bucks off of, you know, each shoe. This is not going to be something that's great for everyone because some people have probably bought these things 50% off at Adidas, but this is the hugest drop I have seen, and I think the main takeaway from this is that there is still a ton of Yeezys to drop in 2024. And if Sports Direct and Flannels get these Yeezys, just expect a ton of other retailers and probably Adidas to have another massive drop relatively soon. Now, I did piss a couple people off by posting this on freaking Instagram. Somebody called me a sellout for letting people know that this release was happening. I don't understand that mentality. Like, that is literally what I do. I tell people about shoes that are releasing. It's supposed to help people out who didn't know about this. Some of these with the discount, they do make sense. A pair of foam runners for, you know, like $100. I got the sand foam runners for $100. That is way cheaper than I would have found them if I had to go to a reseller. So just keep your eyes open if you are after any Yeezys these. Some of these are like under retail, which is pretty cool, like 175 for a pair of MNVNs. Yes, it's not 50% off like you could probably find at an Adidas outlet, but some of these make sense, others don't. They did have wave runners. They had 700 wave runners in a full freaking, you know, size run. The wave runners had a lot of stock, way more than what Adidas offered. Like, they had so much that I think it was hanging around for a decent amount of time throughout the day. That wraps it up. We do this every single Sunday, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I can always keep you in the loop with the latest upcoming sneaker releases, rumors, leaks, all of the good stuff. And if you want to check out the crazy 3D printed slide review and enter the giveaway, click that video right over there.